Hey guys, welcome to Selenium with Java June 2022 batch online training session 6. In today's session, I will cover what is Java output input operation, what is Java collection framework. In the collection framework, I will try to cover the Java Arraylist, linked list, hash set, tree map, as well as I will try to cover the Hashmap details, what is Hashmap and how you can create the different kind of check different functionality within the Hashmap present, right? And what is Java multi-threading all about. So first we will start what is the input output, and Java, whenever we are talking about Java input output, right, file or folder will come into the picture, right? So file handling in Java implies reading from or writing data to a particular file. The, the file class from the java.io package allows user to work with different format of the file. So definitely in case there is a file, right, the two objective is that you will either read the file or you will be writing the file. After reading it, you can manipulate some data, right? You can modify some data, you can remove some data, you can add some data, right? So there are many ways to read a file in Java. We can use buffer reader, file reader, or the file class. Similarly, if we want to write the data into the file, will be using file writer, buffer writer, files, or file output team, right? So these are the important methods already available in the Java file class, which is available in the java.io package, right? With the help of, right, make directory, we can create a folder. With the help of create new file, we can create a new empty file. With the help of can read or can write, we can check whether the file is readable or writable. With the help of exist, we can check the existence of the file. With the help of delete, we can delete the file. With the help of get name, we can return the name of the file. With the help of get absolute path, we can check the absolute path of the file. And with the help of length, right, we all can see how many bytes is already available in the file, whether it's file blank or not, right? These are the different methods already available in the file class. So first, before creating the file, right, first we need to create a folder. So folder also can be created with the help of the Java input output, right, operation, or the Java IO package. There's a method called available called make directory. With the help of that, we can create a file. So let's try to create a file first. So we will be using the file class in Java. So how we can create a file first, folder, not the file folder. So we need to use the file class. We'll be creating a file of my right object, for instance, equal to new file. This is the file class, this is the object created. Here I need to provide the path of the file. Suppose say I want to create a file in my D drive, right? So this is my D drive, and I can provide the name of the file. Suppose which is not available, right? Suppose the Selenium training, right? So this is the D drive path, and I can create a file Selenium training, like that. So that's why I can create a file. So here you could see after entering the colon, semicolon, also error message is coming, because I need to import the file class from the java.io package, right? This is the file class available in the java.io package. So if you click on that one, right, you can import the relevant packages from the java.io, relevant kind of class from the java.io. Once it is done, we will be calling the mk directory methods available in the file class, through which, right, we can create a file. Okay, so let's try to see call with the help of the file class or object whatever you have created, right? So we'll be calling file dot mk. If you use mk, automatically it will give you the suggestion that that method, right, whatever is available in the file class. After the folder is created, right, so what we can check, we can definitely check whether the folder are we really creating or not in the UI level, right? After navigating to the particular D drive, right, we can check. Okay, apart from that, another methods also there, right? We can create some method through which we can so it will file dot mk directory, right? After that, we will try to check whether the file exists or not, right? So how can I check? Will file, so it will folder definitely dot exist, right, after creating the folder. right? So it will be boolean only. Exist means it will be available or not, right? Either exist or not. So I'll be storing some boolean variable, suppose say boolean b1 equal to like that. I can check. Then I will be creating a loop, right? If loop if b1 value equal to true means file exists, right? So I can make the condition that, oh, so folder exists, right? Because we are creating the folder here. Else folder does not exist in case it is not true. So I'll be giving else condition, folder does not exist, right? Now you can see there is a no folder Selenium training available right here in the D drive, but with the help of the make or directory, right, mk directory, and with the help of file class I am trying to create a folder, and after that I want to check whether it exists or not. So it will give me some printout in the console, and in the UI label I can validate it as well, right? So what is the error? Let's try to run the code and let's see what is happening. Right click, run as, and then Java application. So it will try to do two operations. Once that it will print something in the console, apart from that it will try to create the folder, right? Folder name will be in the D drive Selenium training. You can see the folder exists. So after creating it is existing, but before creating it does not exist, right? So if you want to check it before creating, so definitely it will give it does not exist, right? Now you could see right here the Selenium training folder created. What is the time? Right, 9th of July 2022. What is the time? Right, 7:09 p.m. right? So that is the folder created. Only folder created, nothing is there inside the folder. Now if you want to delete the folder, right, so how can you delete it? So after the, if you once the folder is created, next time if you do not, no need to create the, if you want to use the same folder, no need to create it, right, with the help of make directory. Now if you want to delete it, so how can you delete it? With the help of file dot delete, right? So you can delete the folder. Yeah, here you can see there's two methods. One is delete on exist, right? Delete and it will be existed or will be deleted. So it will be deleting. After that definitely folder will say that it does not exist because we are deleting it, right? So you can create the folder, and in case the folder is already existed, just you need to give the folder path, right? After that automatically rest of the actions will be performed, right? No need to create multiple times, because definitely you cannot create the multiple times folder. Now from the UI label folder will be deleted, as well as here in the console, right, you are able to see that folder does not exist, because after deleting you want to check the folder exists or not, right? So that's why you can check it, verify it. So you could see the outcome will come in the console that folder does not exist, and if you go to the D drive, that particular folder Selenium training will be removed, right? You can see that is the output is coming, does not exist. And here, right, you could are you able to see, no, it's removed, right? There is no, if you filter with the date modifier, right, you cannot find anything called the help of the date, right? You could see 7/2 latest date, but no, whatever folder you have created is removed. So that are the different operation you can perform with the folder, right? Okay, so you can check the existence of the folder, you can create a folder, you can delete a folder. Then next thing is that now you want to deal with the file, right? So how can you deal with the file? So similarly, how can you create a new file? So similar way, just like the folder, you need to give the file path, not the folder path, definitely file path. Then with the help of the create new file, we can create the file. Then we can verify the readable, writable, absolute path, get name, and the length of the file also. Suppose say, let's create something here. Suppose say let's Selenium folder. Like that folder, I will want to create some file, right? So here let's remove it. So this is my folder. In that particular folder I want to create a file. So suppose say I'm giving the file name called test123.txt. test123, we need to give the extension as well, .txt. Okay. Then how can I create the file here? Right, so it will be file dot create new file. That is the method you need to call it. from the file class. Create new file, right? It will be creating the file. So after the file is created, right, you can validate whether the right, what is the problem? I think I need to surround with try catch block or some add some throws declaration. So whenever there is an input output operation, most of the time, right, IO exception, most of the time you need to surround with the exception or try catch block, especially for the file handling. Then now if I want to check, right, whether that particular path or the readable or writable, all this stuff, right, we can check it. So after creating the file, it will be definitely we can check it whether existing or not. So I will be checking it, right, file dot can read, right, can read, can write, it will be giving the true or false. So can readable, the file is readable, definitely it will be readable, right. Next time it will be writable, yes, it will be writable as well. So I can call the other method called writable, right, can write, because this is the file we are creating, right, initial time. Then can write, then I can get the absolute path of the file, get the length of the file, right, get the name of the file. So then I can check whether the length. So what is the method name? Dot get absolute path, that is the I can get the absolute path of the file. Yeah, you can see get absolute path. Then I will get the name. These are the common use. Apart from that, if you press dot, right, all the methods you can show it, you can get it from the suggestion box. After that, file dot length, what is the length? In case something is there, it will give you the length, right, how many byte is there, character is there. But in case nothing is there, just we are creating the file, so no length will be there, it will be giving you the 0 length. Then file dot length, then file dot get name. Sometime you can call the method called hidden file, right, is the hidden file or not, right, you can get it, get name, right, is hidden you can check, is readable you can check, right. Then I can check whether is hidden or is read only, right, with the help of that dot is hidden, you could see is exist part, we will be checking it definitely. Okay, is exist, there is a method called is hidden, right. Then yeah, so these are the different method we can use it, right, we can check it. Let's try to now execute the code and let's see whether let's remove it. So first thing is that it will create the file. What is the file? test123.txt in the Selenium folder, which is available in the D drive. After it will try to check whether the file is readable, writable, absolute path, length, right, name of the file is hidden. Then similar way, right, in case it exists instead of folder, we can change it to file, right, file exists, file does not exist, because it is a file, right. So you can simply check it. If you want to execute it, right, so you can run it and you can see. So this is the two-way action. So one is the something will be printed in the consoles and the operation will be performed in the particular folder. New file will be created. So let's first go to the Selenium folder, right, it's already there. Now if you refresh, right, you could see this test123 folder file has been created. What is the date? 9th of July, right, right, 7:16 p.m., right, 1916. Now if you see the, right, it is true, yes, it is read only, write only, yes, can readable, can writable. What is the path? What is the length? What is the file name? Right, whether it's hidden? No, it's not hidden, file exists, right, from the if else loop. So that's so you can validate it. The next thing, right, in case some of the file is, right, readable, can you make it kind of read only, right, is it possible to read only? Yes, it is possible. So how can you do it? Now if you just right click on the file, right, right click on the file, you could see, able to see the properties. So you can check here, right, how what is the property right now. So you could see hidden is not hidden and read only is not checked, means it is not hidden or not read only, right? And apart from that, there is another option, right? If you click here, right, if you click here and then if you press test 1 2 3 like that, right, 4, and if you want to press save, you can save it without creating a copy, right? You could see now it's already saved. 1 KB file size is showing as 1 KB. Now in case you are making it read only, then it is not possible to update anything because the file will be read only, right? So I'll be commenting out the remaining line of code. I want to make it read only. So how can I do it read only, right? uh, so you can do it with the help of file class dot, right, set. If you use set, you could see there is set readable, right? If you want to set readable, which is able to read it, you can see set read only able to read it but not write it, right? So that is the method. If you call it, so file will be automatically able to read only, but after that you cannot edit anything, right? So let's try to execute the code and let's see what is happening to the file. So that is the another approach through which you can just make a particular file to read only. So there is no output because definitely we don't want to print it anything. Now if you go right here, you could see the timestamp will be also changing, right? Now if you right click here, properties, go to the properties, you could see read only checkbox will be checked right here. Read only checkbox is getting checked, means the file is read only based on the code we have. Now if you want to open it and if you want to update something, see it will not able to save it because it will give you some suggestion that create another file like that, right? You could see the file is not getting saved. Instead of that, it is showing you another suggestion, right, to create another new file, right? So suppose say I will be creating a new file, so it will be, it is same file, it is not able to save it, right? So that is the way you can set something called read only. So you could able to see now another file got created which is not readable. Now if you check the properties here, so it is not readable, right? It is writable as well. It is read only, not checkbox, not check. So that are the different thing you can check, right, with the file as well along with folder. So folder part I already mentioned, and this is the file related part. The next part will be how we can read and write a data to the text file. Just first try to write some data and then we will go for the reading part, right? So how we can read the data, write the data? So with the help of file writer, buffer writer class, we can read it. So let's go to the file location. So what is the new file name? So new file name is 1234 because read only file we cannot write it, right? So new file location I am giving it 1234. So that is the file we will be doing it. After that we need to call file writer class, right? Sorry, for if you want to write read something, it will be, sorry, for writer write something, it will be file writer class. So that's file, particular file, let's remove everything. So it will be just a blank file, right? So just remove everything, so it will be blank file. You could see, able to see there is 0 KB, there is no data available, right? It modified based on the latest timing. Now if you just go with use the file writer, right? So I will be using file writer here. So I want to write something, right? File writer. I am creating an object file writer equal to new file writer. Here I need to provide the file reference, right? Object reference. Here I need to import the file writer from the java.io package, otherwise it will not work. So simply it will give you suggestion, you can import it from the java.io package. Then I will be calling buffer writer, right? That is the another thing I need to call it, buffer writer. So it will be exact you need to give it buff. You press control enter, right? It will give you some suggestion, right? Buffer writer. Yeah, that is the part, right? Buffer writer, which is coming from java.io package. So I can create a object called buffer writer equal to new buffer writer. Here I will be providing the difference of the file writer. So file, then file writer, and then buffer writer. Make a note. Sorry, equal to new buffer writer. Here I will be providing the file writer object for instance difference. Then you can create some variable, right? Suppose a string data, that is the variable I want to update something in the file. Suppose say Java, sorry, I mean add data in text file. So that is the part we want to add it, right? Like that. Okay, that is the string data. Well, how I can add it? So I need to use buffer writer variable, then you need to call write method, bw dot write method, write, that method, right? Here we can will be using the string, right? That is the string, I can pass it. What is my string? Data is my string, right? After that, once addition is done, I will be closing buffer writer, and then bw I will be closing it. Then I need to close what? That file writer, right? Okay, so that is the part you need to do for reading, sorry, adding the data in the file, right? So you will be just accessing the file, right, where you want to update the data, and you can create some variable, right, where what is the exact part, otherwise you can directly write it here only. Okay, then you'll be creating an object or instance like file writer, right, where you'll be giving the file reference, object reference, then you'll be creating an object for the buffer writer, and then we'll be adding the data with the buffer writer write method, and we'll be closing the buffer writer and the file writer, right? Then if you run your program, you could able to see add data in the text file, that particular text will be added to the right text1234.txt file available in the D drive and Selenium folder. Here nothing will be, output will be nothing, right? But if you go to the file, you could see it's updated, right? 9th July, and to time is 1924, right? And size also increased to 1 KB because it was 0 KB. Now if you open it, right, you could able to see, right, you can add the data, right, whatever data is available here. So that's why you can write the data into the particular file. The next one I will show you how you can read the data. So writing is already done. Now I will be reading the data in the console, right? So how can you do it? So this is the different approach. Instead of the file reader, right, it will be file writer and the file reader and the buffer reader, right? So similar way you could able to see here, that is the file reader and the buffer reader, right? So I will be creating object or instance with the help of the file reader. Instead of writer, it will be reader, right, and also it will be reader, buffer reader. File reader fr, and here I can make it buffer reader, right, br, and here I can also change it to buffer reader. Then you can see it is not that particular class is not available in the here, right? We need to import them, file reader and the buffer reader, from the java.io package. So immediately error message will be gone. Okay, let's try to change it to file fr, right, and I can just do it. Okay, then you need to just give a condition, right? Just in case the line is not null, then it will just print it in the console, right? So what is the thing you need to write it here? So you can give some while condition here, right? I'll be giving some while condition while, right? Or maybe you can yeah, you can define something like variable called string. Suppose say string kind of text data, that is the variable I want to declare, right? Text data. Then I'll be giving a while condition while, right, while the text data variable, right, txt data variable, right, equal to buffer reader dot read line. There's a method read line, right? I want to read the line by line, right? Read line here I need to keep another bracket. I think it's already there. Now I need to give another bracket because I'll be checking it, right? It is equal to another bracket means I am, because I am checking here, not equal to null. They can another bracket, I am closing it. So I want to print out the value of text data. Then what I need to do, I need to close the file, write first the buffer reader br dot close, dot close, and file refer dot close. So that is the lines of code I need to write for reading the data. So first I am checking where, for which folder I want to read the data. Then I am declaring some variable called string type, because data will be string, right? It is not numeric, or in case it is numeric you can do it, right? But generally it should be string in the file. Then with the help of file writer, reader and buffer reader, I am trying to read the data. I am giving a while condition, right? In case that read line, with the help of read line method, I will be trying to run one by line. In case it is not null, then it will be printing out. In case it is null, nothing will be printed out anything anyway, right? And I am closing it, right? Now if you let's try to run it, you could able to see whatever is there in the right in the file, so it will be printed in the console. So that's why, right, you can read a particular data from the console. So you could see add the file in the text file, right? So definitely whenever you are performing an operation, make sure that those relevant file is in closed state, otherwise it might create some problem, right? In case it is a not kind of open, right, it might create some problem. If you want to update something, it might create some problem. Now let's try to update it. So then again try to see whether that updated data is getting printed. If you know, run it for the next time. Suppose say add data, or maybe the Java, instead of that Java training session 6, and I'm giving the date called 9 July, right? So now if you press save, so it will press save, right, save. Now if you run it, you could see that updated data will be printed in the console, right? So that are the different simple operations we can definitely perform. Thing is that we can create a file, you can create a folder, we can read the data from the file specific to the text file, and you can write the data to the file, right? And apart from that, right, reading the data, writing the data from the Excel file, I will be covering in that part of whenever I will be covering the framework, right, data driven framework, that part will be covered. So this is the main, primarily we will be dealing with the text file and the right, and the Excel file. Excel file will be covered. How can it do it? Because that it is not easy, right? We need to do some kind of call some sort of other jar file, right? This is called Apache PY, through which we can read and write the data from the Excel. So that will be covered in the upcoming session. So any doubt, guys, on the file and folder structure? The basic part I have tried to cover it, okay, which will be really required. Anyone, any doubt? Okay, cool. Yeah. No, I don't. Yeah, this kind of, yeah. If you know this thing, it will you can do work in the framework as well. That is the really important thing, right? We will be using the real time framework mostly, but definitely some customers will be required. No. That is no. That is not basic. Yeah. That is the common generic tool. It can be Linux, Mac, or yeah, or maybe the Windows. Yeah, next important topic is kind of from the advanced Java part, right? Is collection framework, because in the interview as well, right, a lot of people will ask that what is the collection framework, what is the multi-threading. That is the reason I have tried to cover it, right? So it will be better, right, if you know that advanced topics of the Java, starting from that. Oh, so whatever is covering today, most of that the kind of advanced topic only from the Java, right? So in the initial time I already told, right? So first it will be character, like it is a single kind of quotation, right? A to Z you can deal. After that, the string will come into the picture, which is the kind of sequence of character. Then array list will come, right, where you can create kind of multiples object, right, with the similar data type, right? In case integer, string, float, double, right? But the problem in the array list is that in case you define the size, right, so you need to define the size, right, and once you define the size you cannot change the size, right? That's the problem. Suppose say your array list size is 4, so you can add 4 data, okay, but next time if you want to add 6 data, you cannot do until you are changing the array list size. So that is the problem, that is the drawback, right? Suppose in case you are having 3 data, 5 data, but if you don't no need to define the size, that will help you, right? So that the drawback overcome, right, can be handled through the collection framework. In the collection framework you no need to give any kind of size, so whatever data will be adding, that it will take the size only. So in case you are adding 10 data, size will be 10. In case you are adding the 5 data, it will be 5. But for the Java array list, right, in case you are adding 3, size is 3, and you cannot add more than 3. And in case you are adding 2 data, so the third one will be default value, right, based on the data type. In case it is integer, it will default value will be 0. In case it is a double, 0.0. The string will be null, like that. So that is the reason Java collection framework is very important, right, to handle these drawbacks. So that's why you can try to understand it, right? So the collection in Java is a framework that provides an architecture to store and manipulate the data. Means suppose the data, what will do, right? You will be creating something from reference table, right? You'll be storing them, and definitely next time you need to search the data, you need to update the data, right? You need to remove the data, means kind of manipulation, right? And the storing it, right? So collection framework is a unified architecture, right, for representation and manipulating collection. All collection framework will be containing 3 different things. One is the interface, the next one is the classes of the implementation, the third one is the algorithm or the logic behind that. So interface is nothing, right? You already know this interface is nothing but the kind of abstract data type representation, right? So where like it will be kind of right, there will be a lot of abstraction, abstract method will be there, right? So and in case you want to implement something in the classes, so you need to unimplement all the you need to implement all the unimplemented method. So interface are nothing but the abstract data type that represent collection. Interface allow collection to be manipulated independently of the details of their representation. In object-oriented language, interface generally form a hierarchy. Then the implementation. So implementation is the classes, right? Because interface, where you will implement in the last lesson, you already get to know, right? Interface, you cannot create an object or instance for the interface. You cannot instantiate the interface, right? You have to implement them in the classes. Maybe in case you want to extend one interface to other, you can do it with the help of the interface. But still, interface does not have any significant impact, right, unless you are implementing them into real-time classes. Then if you implement it, so that you first thing is that you need to implement all the unimplemented method. After that you can add your own customized method, then you can create an object or the instance of the particular classes, then you can work on that, right? So the next implementation is the classes. So there are concrete implementation of the collection interface. In essence, they are the useful data structure. Then the third one is the important one, is the algorithm, right? So the logic, right? So these are the methods or logic that perform useful computation, such as searching and sorting on object that implements collection interfaces. The algorithm is said to be polymorphic. That is, the same method can be used on different implementation of the appropriate collection interface. So what are the operations you will be doing, especially with the collection framework? Searching, sorting, insertion, manipulation, deletion, etc., which will be achieved with the help of the collection framework, right? So Java collection means a single unit of object, right? It will have different interface like set, list, queue, dequeue, and different classes like Arraylist, linked list, right? Kind of hash set, tree set, right? Link hash set, priority queue, vector, dequeue, like that. Okay. So this is the next slide is very important. If you are able to remember the next line, right, you will never forget the collection framework architecture. So here, whatever is the blue color, these are the interface, and whatever is the green color, these are the classes, and whatever is solid, right, solid row, solid kind of arrow mark, right, you can see this is called extending, and wherever it is dotted arrow, it is called implementation. Because you already know in the last lesson, right, class to class it will be extending, interface to interface it will be extending, but from class to interface it will be implementing, right? So So what will be uh, it is starting from the iterable, right, interface, right, and then collection, and in the collection interface, right, you could able to see, right, there are a lot of interface available. Okay, so lot of interface available, right, and list, queue, dequeue, set, sorted set, and in the list interface, right, you are able to see there are a lot of classes, because all the classes will be implemented to the interface, right, stack, vector, right, linked list, array list, right, and some of the classes can implement to the two interface as well, because this is having the property of the two interface, right, just like the linked list. So it is having the list interface it is implementing list interface as well as implementing dequeue, right. Array dequeue is implementing to the dequeue interface. Dequeue interface is implementing to extending to the queue interface, where priority dequeue class is implementing to the queue, right. Hash set, linked hash set, these are the class implementing to the set interface. Tree set is implementing to sorted set interface, whereas sorted set interface is extending to the set interface. So that is the way you need to understand the logic. I will cover what is each and every component there, no need to worry, right. Okay, so that way, right, the Java collection framework form, right. So these are the classes: array list, linked list, vector, stack, array dequeue, priority queue, hash set, link hash set, reset, these are the classes, whereas dequeue, sorted, set, queue, list, set, these are the interface, and all the interface is extending to collection interface, and collection interface at the end of the day is extending to the iterable interface. So iterable interface is the root of all the hierarchy, from where it is coming, right, and all the important other interfaces implementing to the extending to the collection interface, right. In the next slide I have tried to just depicted them, right. What is iterable interface? So the iterable interface is nothing but the root interface for all the collection object. Then the collection interface is the interface which is implemented by all the classes in the collection framework. It declares the method that every collection will have. In other words, right, user can say that the collection interface build the foundation on which collection framework depend. Then it will come to the list, right, the list interface. What is the object of the list interface? So list interface, you can add the data, right, whatever data, it can be string, right. A collection framework also contain the similar data type only, right. You cannot add, right, string and kind of integer at the same time. It will be having in the same way, right. So list is means, suppose whatever way you are ordering it, right, you are adding the data, same way you can get it, but the list can contain the duplicate data, right. Then uh, then the queue interface. Queue is nothing but the first in last out, right. If you want to add something, right, that particular object you can get it in the first, right, first in first out, whereas dequeue in, right, double ended queue. So both side you can add the data, you can remove the data, right. Then the set interface. So set interface, with the help of set interface, what you can do, right, you can add the data, but you can add only unique data, right. In the list you can add the duplicate data as well, but in the form of list set you can add the unique data. But what is the drawback of set? Drawback of set is that in case you are adding the data, but set will not kind of manage the kind of insertion order. That's the problem. So that is the reason, if you use sorted set, so that only not only I mean get the unique data or store the unique data, but it will be in sorted order, right. It may be the ascending order or descending order, right. So that is the benefit of the sorted set, right. The tree set is the class through which we can, right, add the data, right, but it will be not contain duplicate data. If you also add the duplicate data, only unique data will be there, but it will be sorted in the ascending order. So that are the different logic. Also same way I have tried to depict it, right. So list, set, sorted set, queue and the dequeue. So any questions guys from here, because this is very, if you understand the logic, right, the next part will be very easy. Then I will try to implement them in the real time, how it will impact. This is the theoretical part. Yeah. Hmm. Hmm. No, 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 no. Because that is the way, right? I have covered the wrapper class, right? Because that is the reason. Because there is no thing of the primitive data type, right? Everything will be, you need to convert as object. That is the reason here also, right? You cannot use int. You have to use integer. That is the relevant wrapper class for this particular data type. Yes, right. Group of similar type of object. Yeah. So that is the reason I have already tried to cover the previous session, right? I have tried to give the link, right? Otherwise it will be, it will be very tough to understand it. Yeah. Yes, 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 right, right. So that part will be covered whenever I'll be giving the complete architecture. I mean the detail level code, right? That method will be covered. No need to worry. Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, yeah, right, right, right. Fast in, fast out order, right? Yes. So that is the, no, no, no. For the queue, it will be whatever is coming first. It will be, I think, that way only. First in FIFO, yeah, not the LIFO, yeah. Whereas the DQ will be double-ended queue, right? It both side you can remove and add the operation. Yeah, yeah, right, right. So we'll try to cover the array list. So you can see in the array list, right? We have tried to also write it, right? The array list. So already in the array, normal, I mean, sorry, in the array, right? We have the sizes, right? Once you define, right, you cannot exchange it, right? So definitely you have to again resize it, right? You need to kind of resize the array list. Then you can only add or remove the data. But that is the array list, that there is no concept of the adding the size. So automatically whatever data will be adding it, that size it will take. So Arraylist inherit abstract lit class and implement list interface. Arraylist allow duplicate element. Arraylist maintains the insertion order, right? But Arraylist kind of, it is slow because shifting needs to be occur at any element to be removed from the Arraylist, right? Because first in first order, right? So if you want to sort it with the help of Arraylist, there is sort methods available. With the help of that, you can sort it also. So how you can do it? Here you can see, right? If you want to create an object or instance, right, here for the array list, right, you can see here we are converting here, everything is a math of that particular relevant object class, right, not that particular data type. So it is not like this kind of, if it is the integer int, we will be only consider integer, not int, because that's relevant wrapper class will be using. I will be showing it one by one. So let's try to first create a object or instance for the array list. So how can you create it? So it will be here array list. Yes. Another session you are looking for that? Uh-huh. Yeah, yeah, okay, okay, sorry. Okay, fine, fine. Yeah, yeah, okay, okay, fine. I'll be creating a new class. No need to worry. Yeah. Hmm. So I'll be creating a new class. So say new class session 6 collection framework. Okay. So here we'll be first trying to create. Once you understand one particular class, then it will be easy for understand the other class. So one is called array list. It will be array, then list will be caps, and here I need to provide the right data type. Right, it will be object type, not int. It will be integer here. right? Then I can create an object here, suppose array list equal to similar way new object like that. That is the syntax. That will be common. Okay. Now you need to think is that first you need to import the array list, right, from the java.util package. Do not import in case some suggestion is giving, also do not import, otherwise it will be spoiled. So java.util is the package, always you need to create it. Then next thing is that first let's try to check whether in the array list any size is already there or not, right? So dot, then I can check size, or I can check this method called isEmpty, right? In case you are replacing it false, right, so means it is empty. No, sorry, it is true means it is empty. So in case you are not adding any data, definitely it will be empty only, right? L dot is empty. Then next time I will be trying to add the data. Okay, suppose it's integer here, I will be adding the data. Al dot add, this is the method available, right? You can see this is the integer, right? So suppose I will be adding the data called 20, right? I can add 4 data, say. But I can add duplicate data as well. Suppose say 20, then 30, then again 20, and again 40. So Arraylist will, you can add the duplicate data. It will never stop you. Other kind of collection will also not stop you, but it will be remove the duplicate data. It will only contain the unique data. So that is the way it is having the advantage. But here you could see I did not define any kind of size, right? So because the runtime, dynamic time, right, it will take the size, right? So if you want to print the size, right, so how can you print it? Dot size. No, that is the benefit, right? Because we are not declaring the size, it will take the dynamic size, right? So that is the way. Again I will tell you. And then next thing is that how you can print the data as well, right? So you can use for loop or enhance for loop. So here I will let you know what is the enhance for loop. So here I am using the for loop so that you can get to know both the thing. So for loop you already know, you need to define something called integer, then I will be 0, right? It is starting from 0, then it will go till size minus 1 in case it is starting from 0, right? Because in case size is n, so 0 to n minus 1 you can go, right? So then I less than al dot size, I will go till less than, then I plus plus, that is the syntax of the for loop, right? Then I can print the value, right? So how can I print the value? So it will be second bracket and then so yeah, then al dot get of I, so that's why I can print out the value. Okay. Now let's try to run the code and let's see what is the, how you can able to understand the array list. So once you are able to run it, then only you can able to understand more accurately. So what I can do, what I have did it here, I have created an object for instance for the array list, which is the type of integer. Then I want to check whether is array list is empty after getting the array list part, right? So definitely it is empty because there is no data I have added it. After that I am adding 4 data, 20, 30, 20 and 40, right? And then I am again checking the size, right? So what is the size here? So size is 4 because I am adding 4 data. Then now I want to print it out. Here you could see in the output in the console, right? 20, 30, 20, 40 means whatever ordered I have printed out, right? I have given the data, same order it is coming. So that is the importance of the array list, guys. So same order, whatever order you are adding, same insertion order it will manage, right? It will map the data and it will contain the duplicate data. So that is the important two thing you can remember in 9. But in case you want to sort it out, yeah, yes, yes, yeah, yeah, yeah. Mm. Hmm. Yeah, it will handle all the type, right? It will string, data, float, double, all the type it will handle. I will be covering one by one the string as well, right? Not any. Hmm. Yeah, yeah. Why it is not possible, right? You can create with the data type as string, then you can add it, right, one by one. Like the vehicle is car, like then is bus, like that. So what's the problem? Similar way, you'll be adding. No, it will be different, right? It will be different, right? There are all set of things there. Hashmap is there in case it is two dimensional, right? Then hash table is there, right? Same way, hash table. Apart from that, based on requirement, in case you want to write just want to keep the duplicate value, then it will be array list. In case you want to content duplicate value ordered way, but you want to operate from the two sides, it will be using the linked list, right? In case you want to unordered way, then you can go with the right hash set, right? In case it is a ordered way, you can go with the tree set, you do unique value. So that will depend based on the requirement. It is not common, yeah. Hmm. Yeah, I will cover it. Let's cover it. Then you can after that you can get to know. Yeah, 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 yeah. Sure, sure. No, no need to worry. Okay. Then another thing is that if you want to suppose say just sort it out, there's a thing available for sorting, right? So how can you do the sorting? It will be collections dot sort. That is the method available. Right here, you need to provide the name, array list name. So I'll be using LA. So it will be now sorted out, right? Now if you just print it out, right, you could see it will be sorted out. So it will be 20, 20, 30 and 40. So now it will be printed and sorted out. So these are the thing it's available, right? Now the next question is that once you already defined the, I mean, once you added some data, right? Right after that you are printing out, even you are sorting it out, right? The next question is that are you able to remove some data from that one? Are you able to add some data? Are you able to update some data from the array list as well or not, right? So let's differentiate it, right? So suppose I give some sort of star mark. So that is the differentiator, right? So initially I have added 4 data, and so it will print the 4 data 20, 30, 20, 30 order that. Now I will be trying to, right, remove something. Al dot remove, right? You can see in case you want to remove, you need to give the index number, right? So suppose say I want to remove 30. So what will be the index number? It will be index number will be 1 because starting from the 0th index, right? So now how many variable is there? Data object is there. 20, 20 and 40. This is the three thing is there, right? So this is the first, this is the second and this is the third. The next thing is that I want to update the value of 20, right? So al dot set, right? What is the index now for the 20? Please remember it. Now the index of the 20 will be first index because that part is getting removed. So that's why I can give the index here as the first, and I can update the value as suppose say 60, right? So that's why I can again set the value, update the value. The next time I want to add one more object, right? So al dot, how I can add it, right? It will be add dot add. Here you can give the index as well, or you can directly, if you adding, it will be added in the last. So if I want to add suppose say 100, right? So it will be 100. Now it will be again 4 element, right? If you want to add one more element, now it will be 5 element, suppose 150, because initially 4 element was there, one element I am removing, one I am updating, and two more I am reading, or sorry I am adding it, right? Now if you just see here, Yeah, that is the way, right? You can, there is an option, right, called al dot add. Then index part, right? You can give the index and you can give the integer value, right? Yeah, that is the way. So you can do some analysis as well, right? So because every all the, whatever I am trying to cover it, so I will try to cover it. But yeah, if you just press dot, right, you can just do some analysis, right? So that's so you can get more knowledge, right? Yeah. So let's try to run the code. Okay. So I'm trying to cover as much as possible here, but yeah, as a task, right, you can try to see how you can manipulate it. Once you know the basic understanding, right, then you can try by yourself. You could see. So there is in the in the first part there is no changes there, right, because same thing. After the differentiator, now you could see the 20, right. Then what happened? I am removing 30, right? So 30 got removed because I am trying to remove here, right, that one element. Then next one will be 20 is the first index, 0 and first. Now I am updating it with 60. So now you could see 20 got changed with 60. Then 40 is coming, and then 100 and 150 is getting added here, right? So now you could see that's way you can, right, manipulate that thing, right? Once it is already you are printing something or using something, after that if you want to modify the value, if you want to remove the value, if you want to just add few more data, right, in that one, right, you can do it with the help of the array list. Then the next thing I'll be covering as part of the linked list. So let's comment it out. So maybe go with that other way. Okay, so instead of the integer part, we'll cover it with the string here. So array linked list is nothing but the same way, but what is the difference of the linked list, right? Difference of the linked list is that, right, you can do operation from the both side, right? Here we are adding it either at the through the index, right? We can remove it through the index, right? Or we can add it, right, at the last. But can we able to add it at the first without indexing? It is not possible with the help of the array list because it is a queue, first in first out. But it's a double-ended queue, means from the both side I can perform the operation, right, from the first and the last. Removing an addition is possible in the both side as well. So let's try to, instead of array list, it will be linked list. So that is the primary difference. You no need to go through anything, right? If you just try to understand it here, so that you can easily understand. So it will be linked list. So similar way, it, instead of integer, I can make it string. So just same way you can just do it. So it will be linked list. Similar way, I am not changing it. Here it will be linked list. So I need to import the linked list. From the Java utility package. So here instead of the integer value, suppose say I want to add UFT or maybe the car, right? So I suppose say it is a bus. Okay. Then again LL, suppose say instead of bus it will be train. Because all are vehicle only, right? Again LL dot helicopter. Okay. And duplicate also I can do it. Suppose say duplicate means another bus, right? Now same way I can change it. I can change it LL. And here also I need to change it, right? Now let's try to run it and let's see. So linked list also will contain duplicate value. It will maintain the same order, but the difference is that we can perform the operation from the both side. So bus, train, helicopter, and again bus, right? Now let's give the differentiator here again, same differentiator. Now as and when, now if you pressing LL, right, what will happen? You could able to see. Suppose say now I want to remove the first one, right? Dot. You can see add, right? Here you can see there is, apart from add, there is two method got added. add first and add last. So that was not available in the array list. So now if you want to add first, suppose say I want to add train. So train is already there, maybe I can add bus truck, right? And add last I can want to add, suppose say bus truck trailer, yeah. Then if you want to print it out again, right, after adding it, let's see what is the difference. So add first means it will be added in the top again, and add last means it will be added in the last. Sorry, oh, it is I think common same thing. I have do it right, so it will be add last dot add last. Yeah. So apart from the whatever you have learned from the array list, the other features will be available mainly for removing or adding the data from the both sides, because it is a double-ended queue. Right, you could see track has been added to the top because added first. Whatever data object is there is not be problem, but it will be added first. And similarly trailer has been added to the last, right? Now similar way, if you want to use right other way, right, ll dot remove first, remove last, you can see, you can get it, right? That is the another thing will be available. Then if you want to update something, right, dot ll dot I think what is the thing, set, right? You can keep the index, right? So now I am removing first means track is getting removed. The next bus I want to index, so I will be 0th index. So bus after removing it will be 0th index. Instead of bus I want to change it to say rocket, say. Now if you try to run it, it will, you can see the difference. So that is the similar thing, but the difference is that it will be double-ended queue. It is not only getting the list property, but it is also getting the DQ properties. Right now, so first thing is the track is adding, but we are removing the track. So now initially bus was there, but bus is getting replaced with rocket. Then 10 helicopter bus and again trailer is getting added. So that is the way, right? You can deal with the linked list with different data type, which is string. So that are the similar way I have already given it. So whatever I already covered here. So linked list also can contain duplicate elements. It also maintain the same insertion order. Linked list manipulation will be fast because, right, it will be operate from the both side way, right? It will implement list and it will implement the DQ interface as well. Is it clear something? But yeah, you need to just invest some time to practice little bit, guys. Okay, might be right now it is looking easy, but collection is not so much easy, right? You need to, right, if you spend some time, if you try to understand the concept, then it will be very easy. The first thing is that you try to understand the concept, and one by one how it is getting differentiated, right? Then only you can just try to sync, right? Starting from the character, then it will be your string, then it will be your kind of array, then it is coming the collection framework. Okay, so same thing I will be using it now again for the other part, which is the, could able to see it here. The next one I'll go with that has set. So what is the difference between the list and the set? So list is the ordered, right? Whatever ordered you are doing, right? It will contain duplicate value. But what is the difference between the set? Set will be unordered, right? And but it will contain the unique value. So that is the difference. So to minimize, to what is the drawback is having that unordered, because you cannot get into the order. So whatever order you are giving, right, but it will give you any random order. So that is the problem. So that is the reason sorted set interface is coming, right, and tree set class is there, so through which you will be getting the ascending order set, not the similar order, but it will be ascending order set, right? So let's try to see. Yeah, instead of linked list I will be doing it hash set. Otherwise it will be same. Suppose say hash set hs. So initially it will be blank only. Hash set, hash set, hash set, hash set. So try to give one more bus and let's see what is the difference. So we need to import hash set. Yes, so here maybe sometimes right for loop might not work. So that is the reason you need to use enhance for loop. Either you need to typecast it, right? So I do not use the typecasting though. No, it might not work. So you're using the enhance for loop here. So what is the syntax of the enhance for loop, right? It will be very simple, guys. Okay. So for few of the collection framework, right, for loop might not work, right? So you need to use enhance for loop. So it will be for. Okay, you can able to see the differences how easier. So what is the data type of that? What is the kind of object type of that particular collection? So it is string, right? So I'll be giving string. Then what is the new variable you need to give? Suppose say object, then colon, and give the old variable name which is the hs, the hash set, right? This is the variable. Or then here you can again give so. No need to give any bracket, and you can print the new variable. So that is the simple thing of the enhance for loop. For, and then it is data type, or you can say object type, and the new variable you need to give it, then colon, and this is the old variable, and then you can simply print it out without any second bracket. This is the enhance for loop. So in the the real time also you'll be using enhance for loop, so that it will be very easy. You no need to worry about that what is the size and other stuff. Now if you want to just run it, you could able to see the differences between the linked list or array list, whatever you see along with that one. So you could see here what is the size. It is 3, but we have added 5 elements. Can anyone let me know why the size is getting 3? Yeah, yes, unique is 3. That is the reason removing the duplicate. But you could see there is no ordered, right? So bus, and then it should be train, right? But it is coming helicopter and then train. So next time if you run, it might be different order. So you cannot guarantee the order, right? It will be having the problem. That is the another problem. Okay. So avoid the problem, we have to use the tree set. So similar way, if you want to remove something here also, right? After adding it, so you can use just, or again you can write the same line of code. You can add it, you can remove it with the help of remove method, right? You can see remove, right? You can remove any object. Suppose say I want to remove the helicopter, so it is 0 1 2 second index. Similarly, if you want to update it, right, you can also update it. Yeah, that is the kind of another thing. So in case you want to convert some collection to the other collection framework, then that method will come into the picture. I will show you one example later point. Okay. Yeah. 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 So if you want to add it now, if you want to run it, so it will be only two element, right? So helicopter is getting removed and it is only having bus and train. Okay. No, here again it is 2. So remove 2 index 0 1 2. So I think it is removing uh, 0. Yeah, try to remove it here and again try to run it. So that is the problem here, because it is not maintaining any order. So maybe it is coming the second way, right? Bus is coming. So that is the reason we cannot rely much on the hash set. Instead of that, we must use the tree set. Maybe bus is coming as a second object, right? So it is whenever it is coming into the order, maybe yeah, duplicate part it is removed. Yeah, yeah, I think that is the thing is available. Yeah, yeah. Instead of index, right? There is an yeah option will be there. I think it is dot remove object. Yeah, that part I think we can do it. Yeah, either you can give the index or you can give the object name. Yeah, train bus is getting removed, but helicopter 10 white is coming for two more times. Okay. Yeah, yeah. Okay, fine. So that is the way. Now we'll concentrate on that one. Okay, we have used the loop two time, right? Yeah, got it. Yeah. So first one is the bus helicopter 10 and second one is the helicopter and 10 only. Bus is getting removed. Now let's comment out everything and let's go with the tree set. So what is tree set? So tree set is same thing, but it will be ordered. It cannot contain the duplicate, but it will be ascending order, right? So it is following, right, the set interface as well as it is following the sorted set interface. So if you go to the previous one, right, you can see here there is something called sorted set. Sorted set means it is sorted with the ascending order, right, as well as it implementing set. So both the thing it is combining. That is the reason it is ascending order. It is coming. So if you try to understand that diagram clearly, you can get to know the details part. Yeah. So same way, instead of the hash set, right, I need to change it to tree set. Tree set. Here tree set. Maybe I am not changing the val variable. Okay, so let's keep it same only. Otherwise, I need to change everywhere. 1 second. I can change it. No worry. Let's change it so that you can understand betterly. Now, if you want to see, if you run it, you can see it will be ascending order. Alphabetical ascending, numeric ascending, similar way, right? It's a double ascending. It is based on the integer type here, right? Object type here, right? So bus, right? Then helicopter and then train, right? B is coming first, then H and then train. So that is the very important thing. Similarly, you can, if you want to remove the data, you can update it. You can again edit, right? You can do it. Now the other questions you were talking, right, that how we can, right, suppose use the other part, right? So I will try to show you some other example as well. Okay, so let's comment it out here. We giving few sample example. So let's try to take the first array list, whatever we have added. Okay, this is the array list I have created first. Now I want to convert the array list to a hash set, right? Because sometimes you need to convert it, the same thing you need to convert it in the real time as well, right? Then how can you do it? Hash set. So same data type you need to give it, suppose says integer, right here. So hs equal to new hash set. After that, here you no need to give the data type, you need to pass the value array list. That way you can convert it, right? And if you want to print out, right, you will be just taking the hash set. Similarly, if you want to convert it to tree set, you can do it tree set. Okay, 1 second. Okay, it will be integer here. I think here data type will be int. Yes, here if you give integer, it will not work here because you are using for loop. So relevant thing you need to give it data type, not the object value. If you give integer, it will throw error. Let me check. Might not work, it will not throwing error, but let's see in case it is running or not. In case it is running, might be good. Okay, it is still running. Okay, if you pass it, okay, we need to give it that only. No, I cannot give integer. The same data type we have to give. Yeah, now you could able to see, right, the order is getting changed because we have converted to hash set, right? That is the reason order is getting changed, right? So that's why you can convert something in the other set as well. Okay, the next thing I will let you know another thing called say reset. Yeah, DQ part I did not cover it here. Maybe you can check. I mean, 1 second. What is the DQ? You can check that one. Okay, I think DQ is the priority queue only or the array queue. You can try yourself. Okay, in case anything is coming right. Otherwise, session will not be over by today. Okay, so you can just check similar way only. The queue is nothing but that I already mentioned. The queue is here the first, I mean first in and first out, right? So that is the way, and DQ is the double-ended queue, right? Here the same features we are using for the linked list. So the linked list already covered as part of the DQ. So that is the reason. Okay, you can try. So similar way you can create an object or instance similar. And another important thing is left over here is kind of Hashmap. It will take some time. Okay, you can try that DQ and the priority queue. Okay, and if you have any problems similar, you can let me know. Otherwise, mostly the same functionality and same way it will behave. In case it is the for loop is not working, you can go for the enhanced for loop. Okay, so as of now you already seen kind of one dimensional part, right? You can add the or data object, right, in one way. It can be numeric, it can be it can be integer, it can be float, double, string. Mostly we'll be doing integer and string only, sorry, but yeah, you can add the other data type as well based on the wrapper class you have learned. But in case there are two way kind of stuff, right? Kind of okay, kind of it is called key and value pair. Suppose I am giving a simple example called telephone directory, right? So in the telephone directory there is an number, mobile phone number, right? Nowadays is mobile number available everyone to, but in the initial day, right, even 10 years back also there was no plenty mobile was available, right? So it was only kind of land phone only that time, right? So in the land phone, right, so you, I mean, based on the your state, right, your first kind of STD code will be there, after that your number will be there, but your phone number should be unique in nature, but your name can be duplicate, right? So in the same places, in the same state, right? Suppose say my name is Haradhan, there are multiple person can be in the Haradhan name, but their mobile number will be unique, right? So that is called, it is a called Hashmap, which is a key and value pair combination, right? So key and value, both the thing can called integer integer, right? Integer string, string integer, or string string, that are the different things it can contain. So Java Hashmap class implement the map interface by using hash table, and one object is called key, which is the unique in nature, and one object is called value, right, the corresponding part. It can store different type, string key and integer values, or the same type like string key, string value, right, as well. So so how can you add it, right? Here you are adding it one dimensional, maybe one thing, either string or integer. So another example I can give you, like coming to suppose this kind of country, right? Every country is having some capital. Similarly, every state can have some capital, which is string, right? Integer part I already covered, right? Mobile number, phone number, and the name, and then it can be kind of your student name and the roll number. That is the another part, right? That is the kind of consideration. And another one is kind of example is suppose say integer can be your employee number, right, along with salary. So every employee will be having some salary value, right? So suppose say 5,000, 10,000, 20,000, like that. So that is the another way of the integer also. So we'll see how the Hashmap, you can deal with the Hashmap, and how, what is the like key and value pairs, right? So I will try to create a kind of int string as well first. So let's try to create a Hashmap with the string. So how can you create your Hashmap here? So Hashmap, here you need to keep the two dimension. One is the key. So first is also string I am giving, and second one may be string, right? Suppose say I want to cover the state-wise languages, right? So I can create a object here called languages equal to new Hashmap, I think string. Okay, so we need to import the Hashmap. So here as of now you already seen there is a method called add, right, for adding the data, removing, for setting the data. This is the three primary method we'll be using. But for Hashmap you cannot add with the help of the add, right? Add the data, you need to call, there is a method called put method for key and values, right? So suppose say I will be adding commenting out right here, add keys and values, right here. Suppose say you can first one you can consider state, and then the corresponding mother tongue or language is used. So that is the thing I want to do, right? So here with the help of the languages variable, right, I can call the put method, right? You can see here key and value, it is coming from the Hashmap, and return type is also string. So suppose say I can called, right, say up, because it is string I need to double quote it. And what is the value? Maybe string UNUP, some Hindi language is used to do, what they used to talk, right? Okay, suppose say then I can covering the thing called West Bengal. West Bengal maybe Hindi, Bengali, all the language used to do. Hindi also they do. They also do Bengali. So same state can have multiple languages as well. If you will talk in English, maybe I will go for other part, right? Suppose say Tamil Nadu, right? Maybe Tamil is the primary language. Other language you can add it, right? Okay, maybe I can go for other state called Tripura, TP. And here also people used to talk in Bengali. Right? Similar way you can do it, right? Now, so that's so you can just deal with that one, right? Now, if you want to print out, right, then you can use called SYSO, and then you can use the variable. So that is the way, but it will not look good, right? Sometimes you don't want to print all the corresponding value as well. Sometimes you want to print the key only. Sometimes you want to print the value only, right? So that are the different things you can do it. Now let's try to see what is the thing is printing out with the help of normal SYSO method. You can see Tamil Nadu Tamil, UP Delhi, West Bengal Bengali, and TP Bengali. Right. So that is the thing, it is getting printed out. Okay. So the problem is that here you cannot have any duplicate value, right? It will be key only. Your key only will be unique. That is the reason one part it is getting removed. But here it will not maintain in order, right? That is the problem here. Hindi, West Bengal Hindi is not getting removed, but yeah, it is getting removed, but it does not maintain the order as well. So, but you are basically you want to search the details, right? There is no order is required. Basically, the Hashmap also used before searching the data, right, from the database. You will want to get the keys and the pair, the unique one. There is no way of that whether it's giving you true, kind of random value or kind of ascending order. So, basically for the searching part, that part will be used, storing the data one. Okay. So it is giving because your key will be unique in nature, so it cannot be a duplicate. Because your suppose say the student roll number, right, or the state this kind of state as well, right? If I want to consider the state and the capital, the country and the capital will be unique, country will be unique, state will be unique, right? Similarly, mother tongue for each state also will be unique, right, if you want to consider the mother tongue as well. Now see, I want to just print only the keys, right? How we can print those keys? Okay, so you can use that enhanced for loop. So for here string, you can give a new variable name, right? Suppose say str. Then what is the old variable? Then you need to give it here, but it will not work, right? Because it is a two dimension, right? It is not only one dimension. Dot here you need to call key set, right? If you press, you can see there is a call key set is coming. Then here you can print it out, just value of I or str. So you can only get the value of the unique key. So that is the way it will print the keys. So what is this key? UP, West Bengal, Tamil Nadu, and Tripura. Because that is also there, that is the result is coming. Now if you want to print the values, corresponding value, right? So that is the way. Print values. So it will be second same variable you can give it, or maybe you can give it here string 1 and string 2, because both are string only, right? So it will be string 2, and I can also print out string 2, but here instead of the key set you need to call the corresponding values, languages dot values, right? So it will print you the corresponding values for the each and every keys. Okay, Tamil Nadu Tamil, UP Hindi, right? West Bengal Bengali, Tripura Bengali. The next question is come, right? Definitely I want to print all the thing as well at the same time. Okay, keys and values. Then how can I print the both the things at the same time? So it will be similar way, print keys and values. Okay, so here it will be two thing, right? I'll be printing it out. So let's try to do it. Okay, maybe I could be calling string here. So here it will be key set only, then I'll be printing the value of string, right? That is my key. Then I can concatenate, I can give some space, right? And then I can concatenate it, and then I can give it languages dot get of, what is the key here? String. I think that will work. Let's see. It should work. You can print the values at the same time. Yeah, you could see Tamil Nadu Tamil. There is two space was there. If you want to remove one space, you can do it. UP Hindi, West Bengal Bengali, Tripura Bengali. So that is the way, right? We can deal with that Hashmap, right? So it can be string string, it can be integer string, it can be string integer, it can be integer integer as well. But same way it will behave only, right? You can just put the values with the help of puts, and next you can just print the keys, you can just print the values, as well as at the same time you can print the keys and values. Apart from that, right, if you want to I think that is the thing, right? So keys values is the another important requirement, because both the time I want to say get the same value, so you can just do it. Yeah, any questions, guys? Yeah, somebody was saying. So these are the primary important thing. Yeah, so priority queue DQ I don't use much them, that is the reason I did not cover. So you can just try, have a try. In case some problem is coming, right, we can discuss offline, not be a problem. So whatever I have covered, already mentioned, right, whatever I have covered in my syllabus, which is frequently used, right. In case I want to say, right, Java, there will be around 150 topics, but here I am covering maybe maximum 50 to 60 topics, right. But that will be your real time part, right. That will be used maybe say 7 to 80% time. Apart from that, there is no end of learning, right. There is nobody can say that no, that is will suffice for me, you can do whatever you want. But whatever I'll be covering as part of the collection paper, if you know these things, you are able to clear the concept, it will really help you, right, to deal with that one. So any specific question before I want to move to the next topics? Are you able to getting it, guys? Because this is very very important, guys. Okay. Yeah. I already mentioned, right, just right now, do not try to do anything beyond my syllabus, okay, just focus on that, okay. In case after that if you go, otherwise it will be kind of hodgepodge everything, right. I know that you are trying, you are spending additional effort, but still next 2 months time focus on this thing. Once you are getting confidence from that area, you can do whatever you want, right. I'll be sharing other videos list as well. If you want to learn, right, you can go to my YouTube channel, and there are huge number of playlists also available, right. You can try also them. In case still you are having a question, you can mail me, I will try to cover those part as well in the upcoming session, right. There is no one can say that this is much, but that way I prepare the syllabus, that will help you to learn the thing with quick span of time, and which is mostly used in the real time as well. The last part here might be, yeah. Hmm. Hmm. Yeah, that is the thing, right. If in case it is a two order, right, employee and the collection, right, it will be only the hash map, right. It is a combination, key and value pair combination. Yes, it will be integer integer, right, it will be integer integer, yeah, integer integer, right. Yeah. Yeah, because 10 employee will be adding it, right, with the help of put. So you first to be your employee number, then corresponding salary. It will be 10 different line item, right. So it will be added in your database. Yeah, individually only, right? Individually only here, right? Because you are working with Java only. Yeah. No. Map will not. Map will only for the single dimensional, not the two dimensional. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, the last part actually maybe you will be using, I mean, you would require small knowledge there, but still I am trying to cover it here. Why? Because otherwise in the real time as well, right? You will never understand why we are doing. I already told you that the concept for kind of parallel run or the multiple, sorry, distributed execution, right? You already know the concept. What is the parallel execution means? Suppose say in case you are having a test cases, right? 5 test cases you are having 5 test cases, say, and you want to run it in different OS, or in case you are having 100 test cases, you want to run it in different OS and different browser as well, right? So that's the way, right? And simultaneously, it is not like that one by one another. One by another, you can definitely set it right on the browser, but in case you want to run it by simultaneously, then what will happen, right? So that will be creating the problem, right? So that is the reason multi-threading is the another concept available in Java, through which you can just change the thread number, and then automatically multiple times that so many processes will work to complete your task. So suppose I am giving another simple example. So in case you are having 10 sweets, okay, say Rasagolla, okay, because with the Bengali people we used to love Rasagolla, okay. Okay, so suppose say in case you are having TM Rasagolla, right, in a dabba, okay, then you are the only person you want to eat it, but right, but you can eat suppose say maximum 8, then what will happen? You can eat one by one 8, but remaining 2 items you cannot complete that time, you have to wait for the next day. So it's giving 10, but in case it's at 200, definitely 200 one person cannot do, right? And but one person can do, maybe 20 days it will take 10 sweets like that per day. So you are wasting some time, right? And you have to wait, not wasting, but you have to wait for some time to complete your task. But in case I am having 200 Rasagolla and I am deploying 40 resources, say, but yeah, in case you are deploying more resources, more chaos will come, but yeah, definitely. So in the parallel distribution, suppose in case 10 sweets give it, but if I want to delegate it 3%, so what will happen? 3% will simultaneously work and try to eat the sweets. So every 3% will pick up one sweets. One person might take 1 minute, one person might take 2 minutes, one might person take 30 seconds. So as and when one person is completing, other person will pick up. But no one can guarantee that every person will work in the same frequency or same productivity, right? So immediately another person is completing, another person again to pick up another new switch. That's how your task will be over. So might be out of 10 sweets, right, one person can only eat 2, one person can eat 5, one person can eat 3, but your task will be in parallel and your overall time it will take reduced. So that is the concept of multi-threading in Java. So multi-threading is a mechanism which allows concurrent execution of two or more parts of a program for maximum utilization of the CPU. Each part of such program is called thread. Threads are the lightweight unit of the process. They are independent. If there occur any exception in that one thread, it does not affect other thread. It uses shared memory area. So how you can create the thread? There is two ways. One is extending the thread class. One is implementing the runnable interface. What is the thread lifecycle? New, runnable, running, waiting, and dead. So immediately if you extend, right, or if you implement it, so it will be thread class, right, it will be immediately you are kind of thread you are creating, it is called born thread, right. In the runnable phase, the instance of the thread is invoked with the start method. Here it will be with the help of the start method always. I will show you in the real time method, then only you can get to know. The thread control is given to the scheduler to finish the execution. It depends on the scheduler whether to run the thread or not. In the running, so it will come from the thread pool, right. When the thread start execution, then its status will change from the runnable to running, right. So try to understand the concept here, right. So there is a thread pool, right, where all the thread will be kept Suppose say in case you are creating, want to create 5 threads, so 5 thread you are creating it. After that, all the 5 thread will be kept in the thread pool, and after that there is scheduler available which will handle that, which thread will go, which thread will sit idle, which thread after completing the work will be destroyed. All the thing will be done by the scheduler. So this is the true concept, right? So once your start method you are invoked, your scheduler will try to schedule it, right? And it will be running from the thread pool. Okay, so thread pool, all the thread will be skipped there, and depending on the other circumstances, right, scheduler will schedule it. Suppose say there is 5 thread, there is 3 work, right? So definitely 5 thread cannot need it, because only one thread can only do one work. So 3 thread will come into the picture, and they will try to pick up one work. After that, one thread might complete in 1 hour, one thread might complete 1.5 hours, one thread might complete 2 hours. But overall your total effort should be required 1 plus 1.5 plus 2 hours, but it is taking only total 2 hours. So that's why you can save your time, but multiple thread can work. But in case your work task is more and less and thread count is more, but yeah, not all the thread will come into the pictures, right? So based on the thread, based on the your right unit of work, it will come into the picture. Then waiting, sometimes some thread need to be wait, right? Because suppose say one thread cannot complete the work, right, unless the other work is completed. Just like suppose say you have you went to some marriage invitation or some suppose other occasion, right? So immediately you cannot start the dessert, right? So what you need to do? Suppose for dessert there are few threads already there. For the main course, then starter, then soft drinks, like that. So first you will pick the starter and then the soft drinks. But your thread is already there, your person is already there to distribute to the dessert, but they have to sit ideal until you are completing that part. So that is the concept here. So you will complete first dessert, sorry, first your thing, I mean starter, then you will complete main course, then you will go for the dessert, right? So that's why they have to wait sometimes, right, because of the other dependency. And date, as and when thread is completing their work, so it will be, you need to terminate it, otherwise they will keep some resources or keep some memory in case you are doing some program, right? Suppose in a lodge or in some hotel, right? Your program maybe 1 or 2 or 3 days. After 3 days you have to clear everything, right? You have to trash everything, right? Otherwise the other person cannot use your same hotel or lodge, right? So that is the way, right? You need to clear the resources so that it will not take any memory. So that is the same concept here. Okay, thread, after starting a thread it cannot be started again. If user does so, it will throw the illegal thread exception, stale exception error, right? So in such case thread will run once, but for the second time it will throw the error. So in system there is a default thread will be available always, right, which is running your work. It is called default thread. So for every Java program there will be default thread created by JVM, which is nothing but the main thread. The entry point of the main thread is the main method, right? So let's try to create a new class here. So this is called default thread or the main thread. So I will try to see how the default thread is creating. So how can you create an object or anything for the default thread? You can check what is the default thread. So thread, suppose say current thread, right? This current thread city equal to, here you need to give thread dot current thread, thread dot current thread. So that is the way you need to define it. So it is coming from the thread class. This is called class, and return type is also thread. Then you can print out the thread properties for the current thread or the default thread or the main thread. Ct, right? I can print out dot get name. You can see get name, get priority, get state, right? These are the different thing I can get. then get name. One next thing is that dot get priority, right? Then I think if you press dot, you can get all the other thing, right? Get ID, right? Is alive or not? Is daemon or not? I will show you what is daemon thread as will cover it also. Get ID, then get state, right? Is alive means whether it's alive or not, or is it dead or not, right? Dot is interrupted. Sometimes it can be interrupted because of the other issue, right? You can get state. These are the different things, you can check it out, right? Now if you want to run it, this is the main thread, default thread is coming, right? Priority 5, what is the ID, what is the state, right? Now say if you want to change the name of the thread and the priority of the thread, you can do it, right? How can you do it? So ct dot set, this is method, right? You can set your daemon, you can set the name, you can set the priority, right? These are the design. If you want to suspend or resume, you can do it, right? So suppose say I will set the name, suppose say test thread, instead of main thread I want to change the name, then ct dot set priority, I can change the priority, new priority suppose say 2. After that I can, if you want to check it, so it will be changed based on the thing you are doing, but this is only default way. Just try to understand the concept only. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah, it is the priority. It is the priority of the thread. Yeah. Maybe I will change. Yeah. Here, yeah. Yes. Get name. Yeah, it will be driven by the system, right? You cannot change. Yeah. Yeah, we are setting the priority here, right? 2. Okay, so I can get the priority. Yeah. Now if you, so that's so in the real time, in case you are 5 thread, right, you can particular thread, you can just change the priority is required. Now you can see the priority got changed to 2, right, and the name also get changed to thread. So you cannot do whatever, you can only change the priority and the name only. If you can see press dot, right, you could see you can destroy the thread, right? You can, if you want to destroy the thread, so thread will be destroyed, right? You can interrupt the thread, right? You can set something, you can resume something, you can stop it, you can start it, right? These are the methods already available. You can wait for some time, right? But you no need to worry about this, just try to understand the concept. You can sleep for some time, so that you'll wait for some time before working on it, right? These are the different methods already available for the thread. I mean, if you check something, right, it will be it will, right, it will give all the methods, right? I mean, this part is already available. I mean, what is the objective here, you can already see. Then this is the default thread or the main thread, right, we are talking about. Then I will show you how you can create and run a thread actually. So I already mentioned there is two way, right? One is for with the thread class already available, or which we can extend it, and another is kind of runnable interface available, we can just implement it, right? First I will try to extend it, right? So that is the way you can do it. And here you can create a object method here. Suppose say I'll be creating a method public void run. This is the method you can call create always. Run, right? Now how the thread will work, so try to understand it, right? So this is your class, right? So how the thread will work here, because that is the thread class I am extending, right, in the particular classes. So here I'll be creating that particular class, and I will be creating a thread t1 object or instance equal to new. So that's why I can create an object or instance for the thread. Then what I need to do, you no need to call the run method. Here the thread is different, right? Here I already mentioned in the thing. Here if you want to run it, there is a method called available called start method. You need to just call the start method, so that automatically it will be started. T1 dot start, right? So this run method, it will call it immediately. So now if you just try to run it, so that is the convention you need to use. I am not writing anything, but I am following the Java principles to the thread only. You can see if you press c1 dot star, automatically it is calling the run method. But what is the benefit of the thread? You can create multiple object or instance for the thread, right? We are talking about the multiple thing, right? We can create multiple thing, so that what will happen, it will try to run all the thing parallelly. So you need to want it to the start, so that it will be running for 2 times. But one thread you cannot run in multiple times. You cannot start it multiple times. So I will show you in case you want to start. But if you want to start the thread 1 t1 dot start, right, it will throw the error. If you want to run it, it will throw the error, because thread can be only started. Yeah, right. So here I have tried to written here, right? After starting a thread, it cannot be never started again. If user does so, an illegal thread state exception will be thrown. In such case, thread will run once, but for second time it will throw exception. It will run only one time, but second time whenever you are trying to run, it will throw that error that time. So what is the concept of thread? That I want to utilize multiple resources at the same time. That is the main concept, right? You could see. Immediately after that, right, that is the thread. What is the error is coming? Java.lang.illegal thread state exception. I think that is the reason I have written. Yeah, illegal thread state exception. So whatever your requirement, I have already started. I mean written in the my PDF, right? The documentation. So you no need to worry. If you just gone through it again, it will get more clarity. Yeah. So that is the one way, right? That we can create a thread. So next one, I'll be showing it. That implementing instead of extend, because it is an interface, I'll be implementing. Implement runnable interface where all the thread is there. Okay, so instead of that method, right, I can maybe create something new. Let's comment it out so that you can understand the difference. So I need to add unimplemented method, right? So what is the unimplemented method? Yeah, automatically it is coming here, right? You don't need to worry about that. Right? If you are calling that one, you need, that is the unimplemented, automatically it is coming, right? So you can implement it here as well. Now error message will go. So override part I already can remove it, I already mentioned. So suppose instead of the printing it out, right, suppose say I want to use a for loop for integer I equal to 0, I less than equal to maybe 5, right, I plus plus. Suppose say value of the I. Maybe you can print out something called user value. Here I can concatenate with I, right? The same way as the interface, right? We cannot directly create an object or instance, right? As you implement into the interface, then how can you do it? So we'll be creating a first thing is that we'll be creating here the main method, then we can go for the object. Here it will be, suppose say instance 1 I1, instance 1 I am creating equal to new, then it is instance 1 created but not the thread one. Then I will be calling the thread class t1 equal to new thread. Here you need to provide the I1 instance 1. Now it is created, thread instance created. Now you can start it, right? So it will behave same way, but that is the different lines you need to use, add it one more time. So the interface, whenever it is implementing for the interface, you cannot directly call it. So that is the thread concept. Now it will work in the same way. Similar way, now you can want to create instance 2 and thread 2, you can create it. So it will work again. You can see able to see 0 from 1 2 3 4 5. Right. Then the last one for today's session will be covering is what is kind of daemon thread. So that's why the objective of the thread is that I can create multiple objects for instance and it will work parallelly. So though it is not much required, but still I thought that maybe I can include in the session so that you can get to know. So another concept of the thread is that, right, in case, one second. Okay, so daemon thread is a kind of low priority thread which runs in the background to perform tasks such as garbage collection, etc. So why it is required, right? So sometimes say you are already using multiple thread, right? Suppose say 10 thread, 5 threads like that, right? And you need to, definitely in case thread is not working, right? So you need to remove those thread, right? So that is the reason you can make a thread daemon, so that will take care of the remaining thread activities. Maybe you can dead them, those threads, so that it will be. So daemon thread is a low priority thread in context of JVM which run in background to perform tasks such as garbage collection, etc. They do not prevent the JVM from exiting when all the user threads finish their execution. JVM terminates itself when all user threads finish their execution. So you need to remember that if you want to set something called daemon thread, at least minimum 2 thread is required. Single thread you cannot make it daemon thread, right? Because at least one thread will be required to run your program. So if you just create the only one thread is a daemon thread, so that will be getting noise to your program, right? So to set a thread to be a daemon thread, user need to do is to call thread dot set daemon. In case user call the set daemon method after starting the thread start method, it will throw the illegal thread state exception again. This clearly means that user can call set daemon method only before starting a thread. Once you start the thread, you cannot call it daemon. So that is the Java limitation. To check a thread is daemon thread or not, user simply call the method is daemon. So I'll be showing you how we can make it daemon. So let's go remove this comment. Here instead of that, I'll be creating an if else loop, right? So what is the if loop? If thread dot current thread. If your current thread, right, dot is daemon, already is daemon. Okay, So here you can definitely print it out, right? Here you can print it out. Thread is working, else normal thread is working. Okay, so that is the true part I am did, right? And here suppose say I already created a one thread and I'll be creating one more. So it will be my instance 2, again it will be T2, and again it will be instance 2, and again it will be T2 the start. Then how you can set it daemon, something called set it daemon. Before starting it you need to do it, right? So suppose say I want to set T2 as daemon, so I need to call, right, T2 dot set daemon, right, set daemon, and here you need to set it true. So that's why at least your two thread will be required. You cannot set the single thread to daemon, otherwise your program will be not executing. And in case you are two set having two thread, right, you can set any thread to daemon, but you need to set it before the starting of the part. Now if you try to execute it, let's see how it is behaving. So first thread I did not set it to daemon, right? So it will behave the normal thread, it will be output is normal thread. But the second thread I have set it to daemon, so it will be no, I mean daemon thread is working, and first one is normal thread is working. But let's try to set it daemon after the start. Is it possible? So if you run it, it will throw the error. No, it is not possible. So once you set something called daemon, you cannot start. After starting, it cannot set it. So before starting, you need to signify that whether you are want to set it daemon, so that it will try to clear all the other thing, right? You could see immediately error message is coming. It is both the thing is normal thread only, because it is not set daemon. It is not possible. So that is the reason output is coming, then it is throwing the error. So that are the different aspect, right? What is very, very important, really required for the thread concept as well. I will reiterate once more time, then I will take your questions in case anyone is having. So file part you already see, right? So with the help of the Java file class, right, we can create a folder, we can create a file. So file handling in Java is possible with the help of java.io package. We can read the file, we can check whether the file is readable, writable. We can create a new file, new folder, we can check the existence of the file or folder. We can get the name, we can get the absolute path, we can get the length, and we can delete the folder and file as well. And as well with the help of the file writer, buffer writer, we can write the file. With the help of file reader, buffer reader, we can uh, read the file. And Java collection framework, three concepts you remember: one is the interface, one is the classes or implemented, and one is the algorithm or the logic or important method, useful method, right? So these are the starting point: iterative interface, then collection, and the list, set, sorted set, queue, and dequeue. So Arraylist is nothing but kind of it can contain duplicate element, it will maintain the insertion order. Linked list, it will be both side, you can do the manipulation, right? Add first, add last, remove last. Hash set, it does not maintain any order, but it will contain the duplicate unique element. Tree set, it will contain the unique element as well as it will right, it will be ascending order, sorted in the ascending order. Hashmap, in case it is a two-way part, right, you can do it with the hashmap. It can be integer, it can be integer string, or string integer. Multithreading is nothing but the concept where you can work the thing parallelly, so that it will save the time and effort both the thing. Thread lifecycle: new, running, runnable, running, waiting, and dead. So by default in the application there will be thread will be available, which is nothing but the current thread, right, or the main thread, right? And you can create the thread, right, with the help of extending thread class or implementing the runnable interface. So daemon thread is nothing but the low priority thread, which is used for especially for the garbage collection part. You can set the thread to daemon, right, but you need to set it before this thread is getting started, otherwise it will throw the error. So that's all from today's session. Thank you.